I have to act on TV.
We should be getting this on camera, though.
We should. Is it rolling? Hello! Oh, my tummy just growled.
It did. It was really loud.
Welcome back to Charee Talk, and this week I have my girl, Charee Devon. She is an LA actress, but we'll get to that in 1 second. So this is a follow-up video to my pho video, and we're gonna talk a little bit about cuisine today and what we like. But Charee, tell me a little bit about what you've been up to.
I've been in LA since August 2017, just kind of I've been pounding the pavement out there. This is my first time being able to come home, and this was my first holiday.
Tell me about the LA scene, acting-wise, creative-wise. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, there's always a ton going on. I love being there now where it's like you can submit to 30 to 50 different things, even if you're just self-submitting.
Right. How hard do you have to hustle though?
You pretty much have to hustle constantly if you really want to be successful. I mean, you think of it as like the Olympics, you know,
right.
It's the best of the best.
Tell me about the foods you grew up eating.
Well, I grew up with my grandparents, so I grew up eating a lot of, and we're from the South, so
Grandma.
Yeah. We ate a lot of things, like breakfast for me, grits was a huge staple.
I never liked grits.
Why?
I know, girl.
Because you're technically from the north.
Yeah, so we've never had grits. To me are always so chewy and grainy. And
maybe you need somebody to actually cook you grits.
What else do you like to eat?
Let's see, collard greens, mustard greens, all of that stuff, turnip greens, those were a big thing. And putting as far as with the collard greens, my grandparents always put ham hock in it so that it gives it kind of like that
I heard that,
smoky,
that umami. Savory.
Yes. So it's really good, and it's kind of after the ham hock has fallen off the bone, it's like the ham is floating around in there. It's so juicy and moist and stuff. So I'm always let me get some of that ham hock in there.
Not the ham hock.
Yeah.
No. What's the meal you look forward to the most in your household? I would say, okay, so if we can say dessert, then I would say sweet potato pie. A pie?
A pie.
A pie.
Have you ever had a sweet potato pie?
I don't think so. I've had pumpkin pie, I've had cherry, I had apple, but sweet potato pie seems very savory to me.
No, it's very sweet. It can be very sweet. Quite a bit of sugar.
Pie?
It's a dessert pie.
Okay.
You put quite a bit of sugar and butter and everything.
Sugar, butter, flour, sugar, butter, flour, sugar.
Do you think your food was based on social class? My family was okay, certain days we can't afford to eat like this, so this is our basic food. But then some months we were let's go all out.
Growing up, I guess I didn't realize it at the time, we were lower middle class. There wasn't ever a time when I heard my family necessarily talk about, well, we can't afford to eat this. It could have been the case. They just didn't talk about that in front of me. It's funny because I grew up eating something called Vienna sausages.
Vienna?
Yeah.
The ones in the can?
I don't know if it's, my grandmother says Vienna, but I don't know if it's
Vienna
or Vienna.
Bitch, it's Vienna. I was like, what is this Vienna?
That's what she calls them.
Vienna. But how did your grandma pronounce
She
it?
said Vienna. I don't know if it's because it was cheap and that's what we could afford, or if it was just that they liked it. And so looking back though, it's the older I got and everything, it's started looking at the labels and stuff and the salt content. And I was
you got into trouble when you started looking at the labels.
No way. I want to see the receipts.
You do, because I was I can't eat this stuff.
I remember I tried Whole30 for one day. No, I did keto.
You didn't remember what you did.
No, bitch, because it was a horrible time. Blocked that shit out of my brain. And I had to look at everything, and I had to ask restaurants, what was in there? It's a rough life. My family grew up on Spam. We freaking love Spam. And ramen.
We ate Spam sometimes. Not very often though. I didn't really like it.
Was it too salty?
I don't know. It was just something about the consistency, and I don't know. It just didn't seem like real meat. It was sketchy meat.
It isn't.
So
it isn't meat.
It is. And then
side note, Spam was sorry. I don't know if you knew this, but Spam was invented as military food. pack it and they send it to the troops. And it was so popular in Hawaii that they have a whole Spam festival. And they make all different type of shit out of Spam. It's also a reason why obesity is so high in certain areas because Spam contains so much salt. And the government thought this was a good idea because it was cheap to give lesser brown people Spam because that was cheap and you could eat it. That was a detriment to us. So anyways,
Interesting. I don't know.
what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I feel so corny about this. Some people call them chitterlings. In the South here, we call them chitlins. Let's be real. I grew up eating them with my grandparents, and I didn't know what they were when I was a kid. And then once I got to be older and I finally started asking questions about what my food was, they told me, and I was just like, oh, it tastes
Delicious.
good.
Yeah.
Right. Have you had them?
Yes.
Okay.
So in my culture, we have them too. It's a byproduct of the animal. It's not, once again, from the pho video, you learn that we, different cultures get the lower parts of the meat because, rich people didn't want it. And we made a delicious meal out of it. Describe to our viewers what chitlins are.
Intestines of an
Pork,
animal.
pig, cow.
Pork or cow. It's one of the two. I'm not positive, but that's basically what it is. Let's go with
In Vietnam, after we clean them, we saute them, we fry them, we put some sauce. How do you guys have it?
I think they just boiled them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What's the flavor?
I want to see the receipts.
I don't know what he seasons it with, but he does season
In the
it with
broth?
stuff. In the broth. I drench mine in Texas peach hot sauce.
Bookmark Texas Peach hot dog. Whenever we go out for pho, this bitch, her pho is the color
red. Like there's so much sriracha in that hoe.
The hotter the better. Literally. It's like, I don't know, like I think I'm like immune or like whatever. It's
first off, you spend like 20 minutes spicing that shit.
It's
like,
gotta be
it's
perfect.
a recipe.
It is. It's a perfect
I'm gonna make a video
balance.
of us going out to eat, and I'm just gonna film her making. It's an art.
Gotcha.
I am salivating. I am wet. Or well, for at least Vietnamese people, I think it's true that we eat every damn part of the animal. We eat anything with legs that's not a fucking table. That's not a chair.